Well, first things first, I guess, Vanessa, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, thanks.
Awesome, awesome. I know you guys have had a busy week. We'll be announcing something towards the end of the video, which is going to be great. But first things first, let's kind of talk. A lot of people are already asking, what's going to be the focus, of Global Track, and kind of what's your guys' opinion, and where are you guys looking to put time into?
So definitely the initial focus is going to be a launch of a website, and that initial launch is going to be focused sort of more on information, sort of to be transmitted, bringing together the network of people that are actually in this space right now, that are looking to be involved in this space. So really just for informational purposes, subscribership. We intend on our website to sort of do some independent blogging, independent interviews for people that are in this space. And ultimately, it's just going to be that initial launch for subscribership. Previously, we had acquired a company called PotSaver back when we were doing cannabis. And through PotSaver, we had significant subscribers that were interested in, obviously at the time, finding where we can, find the medicinal and recreational use of cannabis, but also for information, where there were the extension of other types of, different types of industries that were servicing within the cannabis industry. Like, for example, if you had yoga studios that, would incorporate cannabis, things like that. So since we're still, again, in the early stages of what is now going to be psychedelics, there's really going to be a significant readership for finding out, information on, where can I just get more information on the types, what is a psychedelic, what companies are supporting it, from an investor perspective, people that are looking to invest, what companies are out there. So really it's just bringing everyone together and sort of utilizing the network to transmit information.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the perfect timing to do so. The space is blowing up extremely quickly. You've got interest from everybody, and for a lot of people, they hear psychedelics and they just think, I'm doing magic mushrooms in my backyard. It's nice that you guys are going to bring all those additional layers of kind of information to the space, and really, I guess vetted kind of articles and stuff that you guys are obviously going to be pushing. We've seen that, in cannabis, recent wave, even in cryptocurrency, seeing that websites like
Same.
this that popped up are extremely beneficial. So it makes a lot of sense that you guys are going to be looking at that. Is there anything else you guys want to say about kind of what you guys are going to be doing?
No, so I will tell you that we will be going live shortly after this video, and it's going to be for psychedelicspotlight.com. That's going to be our initial launch. But like, for example, majority of the people in this community, they find that the therapeutic nature and the potential of psychedelics can be greater than cannabinoids. And you have, investors like, for example, the crossover between cannabis and psychedelics, I think is going to be significant. So I'll give you like a prime example. You have Canopy Growth, which is one of the largest cannabis related companies out there. Their co-founder, Bruce Linton, just invested in MindMed, which is sort of at the forefront of psychedelics. It's a psychedelic research company, and you have a significant player in the cannabis side investing in psychedelics on this side, because that's really where they see the therapeutic potential, very, very different than what we saw on the cannabis side. But having information like that, and having a resource for investors or for people that want to become more knowledgeable, and seeing that crossover, where can I get accurate information, that's really what we look to provide, is really highlight what's going on. And it's fast moving. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, is every day, this is an ever evolving industry, but because it's so early stages, really the information is key, I think, at this point.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, really, right now, if you're looking to get into this space, you go on Yahoo Finance and you hope that you click on a company you like. There's not much else there. I think
Right.
it's extremely interesting, the difference in the industries. I think a lot of people expected cannabis, in kind of 2012 or so to start as a medicinal kind of play, and that's where a lot of these companies grew from. No play on words intended. but a lot of them started growing, from the medical side, looking at PTSD, looking at addiction, looking at other things, even just general stress. A lot of those, people are saying, well, they can be done better using psychedelics. And so you're having a lot of these old guys, old players, big experts in cannabis looking at psychedelics because initially some of their interest was in PTSD, was in addiction relief. And now it's like, hey, psychedelics do that a little bit better. So I think that's awesome. And there's definitely links there. Some people don't like talking about them, but I think it's important to talk that, not only are the investors similar, but there's also that a lot of the big players are looking at it extremely similarly as well. Even though there was a recreational play in marijuana and cannabis, and now there's a medical play here in psychedelics. So I think it's extremely interesting, to shed some light. The addiction clinics make $35 billion a year, in the U.S. alone for, again, addiction, alcoholism, and other things. People are starting to look at opening clinics using psychedelics. Is there anything you want to comment on that?
Okay, so great question. So in my opinion, I mean, they've had companies like MAPS and different organizations. Psychedelics itself has been a good decade in trial phases, right? So they've been testing out various forms of psychedelics and their effects on a variety of different, ailments. You have depression, anxiety, PTSD, different types of studies have come out over the course of the past decade, and I think that they're really using that to have brought it to this point, I think, of being a little bit more mainstream. So and you do find now, for example, here locally, we're in San Diego, but here locally, they're offering ketamine clinics and different type of clinics that are sort of figure like a controlled environment is really what it is, to both conduct the studies, but also to put the patients themselves into a position where they feel like they're in a controlled setting to really utilize this type of medicine in a way that they can use it for medicinal purposes, so it sort of puts it into a doctor-like or like safer environment for just users themselves that really are looking to psychedelics to cure something that they're going through, whether it's anxiety, PTSD, depression, things like that. Whereas, cannabis, it's sort of more, yes, we started out medicinal, but I think the medicinal side started out really from a regulatory standpoint. Governments didn't know how to regulate something like this. I mean, we went through prohibition and things like that, but it was really, how do we control it? Once we understand that we want to, put it out there for the masses, how do we control it? So that's where they went from medicinal to recreational. And I don't know how recreational psychedelics will be, because I believe that the potential of the therapeutic nature of what they're going to be offering, in various stages of microdosing and things like that, I still think, again, that it's going to lean towards strictly medicinal for its attributes.